I am holding in my hot little hands a broken vintage Peavey Hotfoot Distortion, which is a rat clone. They are almost identical looking at the schematic. I want to see if I can get it working again, and it is in a bit of a state, so this may be a little bit of a challenge, but we will see. And if I can get it working, at the end of the video I will do a little comparison between this vintage rat and this Peavey Hotfoot Distortion. They both contain the fabled LM308 op amp, and don't tell anyone I told you this, but there's nothing magic about an LM308. Let's see if we can breathe some new life into this bad boy. So before I begin, I do want to just go over this quickly with some isopropyl alcohol and some cotton buds, just because it's pretty gross, right? And if it's going to work, it may as well look nice too, right? So let's go over it and see what we can do here. Yeah, that's gross. Okay, so we've got that looking at least a little bit better on the outside. If I can get it working after the repair, I may do a bigger clean-up job on it. But let's open this up and have a little look. Instantly, we can tell someone's already been in here. There's an odd potentiometer there, which is different to these two. I assume these were factory, potentially. Someone's added connections here. So maybe not, maybe that was added as well. I don't know. But we will see. I may have to modify my own potentiometers to go in here. We'll have a look. Oh, look, this is all connected wrong. Yep. Battery jack's been fixed at some point. Power plug, power socket needs looking at. Oh, I can see something nasty here. There is a trace here on the circuit board, which I can see is not under any of the solder mask. Or it's been, yeah, someone's definitely tried to mod this. Oh, or at least fix it. Yeah, this is going to be a nightmare. I can feel it. Okay, so we've got some, what I think are odd screws here. I have a feeling it's missing screws on the back, and I have a feeling that they've used the screws from the back. Whoever's tried to fix this before, they've used the screws from the back plate to fix the PCB down. That's what it looks like. I can almost guarantee that they were originally from the back plate. Do they fit in there? Yes, they do. So I think they may be from the back plate, but yeah, so we'll have to see. Maybe I'll have to get some replacement screws. Yeah, they must be, because they've put a spacer here between the screw and the PCB, which is just folded cardboard, and there's another odd screw here which doesn't look like the other ones. Right, let's see what we're dealing with. Okay, so here's the exciting bit. This is the original fabled LM308. Cool old caps on there. I'm probably going to recap this entire thing if I have the correct ones, which I believe I do. Doesn't look like there's anything wrong with this board. I'll have to look at this. It's this part of the board with the potentiometers on that looks like it may be a problem, but we'll see. Right, so before recapping, I'm going to have a look at this, because this looks like the challenging part. I'm not entirely sure where I'm going to start here. I need to figure out what's what. Well, that definitely needs replacing, so we could start with that, I guess. Let's see if we can get this board out. I can see that power jack is twisting, so I need something to hold that still. There we go. Will it come out? Here we go. Okay. I don't know why I'm wrestling with this. I can replace this battery jack. Let's just snip this off. I'll replace it with a higher quality one. For now, let's just get that off. Bin. Okay. Okay. Now this all looks like it's either power filtering, or maybe this is something to do with the switching system, because these have a different switching system to regular rats. We'll have a look. Right, yeah. So these should be 100k audio pots, and I can see they've used the correct, because their tone control works the correct way round, which the rat one doesn't. They've used an 100k C, which is a reverse audio taper. So they've used the correct pot value there. At least some clones don't. The reason I'm snipping these is just because it makes them easier to get out, and they're probably done for anyway. Oh, that's snapped anyway. There we go. Let's see if I can desolder these with a solder sucker. This, by the way, is the most valuable tool a pedal builder can have. This is just a solder sucker. It's for desoldering things. There we go. Now I need to look at this. So, where's that white wire going? That white wire is going to there. Okay. So I'm looking at this old DC jack socket, and I think what I'm going to do is, provided there's enough space, I will upgrade it to one of these, which is a more modern, standard Boss style DC socket. This absolutely microscopic tiny trace here that someone's tried to repair on the board is probably fine. I mean, it's still connected, but I think I'm going to run a wire where the trace used to be and connect it there. I think that's probably the best thing to do. Much better. Oh no. We have a problem. The trace has just come off this where the potentiometer goes, so I will have to try and reveal a bit of this board and connect it to that trace somehow. We'll figure it out. I'm just using a bit of blue tack to hold that in place. I make this this connection. Perfect. Much better. Now, I'd like to try and cover that with something really, like some kind of resin or some kind of epoxy or something, but I don't have anything to do that, so I'm going to leave it. Quick continuity test just so I can see whether it is actually connected in the places it's supposed to be. So is that connecting to that? Right, that connects, that connects, that connects. Yes. So we're all good. I'm just going to expose a bit of this copper trace here so that I can solder the potentiometer lug to the actual trace, because the trace has been pulled off this part that it would normally solder to. I also I didn't even notice this before, but these solder jobs here are really dreadful. So I'm going to try and look at redoing some of that, but I don't even know where they're connecting to. This is kind of weird. We'll have a look. I see, so it looks like whoever's tried to repair this before has lifted all these traces off. This is why this is so badly soldered. I'm going to need to find a better way to connect this, I think. So it looks like these huge blobs of solder, they're not connected to any trace, they're just holding the jack on. So I need to figure out what's going on here. So I'm just going to reconnect this trace to this part of the jack here, and then I'll work out where everything else is meant to connect to. There we go. That is now a much better connection to the trace. Now it looks like this part of the board is supposed to connect to here, but there's no continuity between this solder joint and this part here. So I need to look at what's going on under there. It's not connecting somehow. Maybe that will do it. Let's see. Is that enough to connect it? No. Okay, there's no trace underneath it. So I don't know what is going on here. I don't know who worked on this before, but it's pretty outrageous. Okay. Another bit of wire. Right, now do we have continuity? Let's have a look. Finally, we have continuity. Right. So we know that part of the circuit's going to work. Okay, so I've just modified these potentiometers and I've got them going on the board now. I have to solder this down to that trace that I revealed. Yeah, that trace has come completely off, so I'm just going to have to solder that directly to there. Not ideal, but it will work. There we go. Not the prettiest job in the world, but it will work. Quick beep test just to make sure everything is connected where it's meant to be. There we go. And there we go. Yep. We're all good to continue. Okay, so I've got all the potentiometers in place. I might look at recapping it now. So I've just been slowly recapping this. I've done these two here, these, this one. So I've got 3 left to do. I'll get these done and then we'll have a look at the battery snap, and then it'll be a case of reassembly and test. I would like to remove the old solder really, but I don't have the solder wick available, so I can't. So now I'm just connecting the battery snap back up. We should be ready for assembly soon, and then a quick test. Then we'll do a comparison. Supposed to be using black wire here for ground, but I haven't got any. So it's green. Green for ground. Right, that is ready to go back in. For now, I'm going to put these dodgy unoriginal screws back there that I think are from the back plate, because I don't have any replacements at the moment, but I'll try and find some. Okay, that screw is literally jammed, and I don't want to, it's jamming in. I don't want to force it. So until I get some replacements, I'll leave it like that. So we've just got to connect this back up. Now, the moment of truth. Does it work?
Of course it does.